Welcome back guys, Slowback in here. I've got a lovely replay here for the Vampire Counts versus Chaos. This is a match that I played 3 or 4 days ago now. I'm of course controlling the Vampire Counts. I just thought it was a really interesting match, so I thought I'd show you guys and hopefully you guys agree with me. Now let's just go through the armies really quickly. So what I've brought is 3 units of Skeleton Warriors. They're up to rank 1, just to get rid of the extra money of mine. 2 units of Graveguard with great weapons, and we've got the unit of Renowned Graveguard, the Stearnsman. Got 2 units of Crypt Horrors, got 2 units of Blood Knights, 2 White Kings, and leading the way with Vlad. For our opposition, we've got a unit of Dragon Ogres and a unit of Chaos Knights with Lancers. I've got 2 really ranked up Forsaken here, up to rank 7, and 4 units of Chaos Marauders. We've got a unit of Aspiring Champions. We have a Exalted Hero on a Manticore, and led again by Prince Sigvald the Magnificent. Now these ranked up Forsaken. I'll put the numbers up on the screen for you. Get over there and have a look at them. But obviously these guys are ranked up to rank 7, so in my mind the only advantage you get out of that is you get a +9 on their weapon attack, which brings them from 34 up to 43. The weapon damage charge bonus stays the same. They do get a wee bit of extra leadership and a wee bit of extra melee defense, which makes them kind of a wee bit tougher, but that's not really the purpose of the Forsaken. They're really to kill stuff as fast as possible. So this is an investment as well. It's gone from the standard price of $750 up to 1,037, so 574 for 2 units of it, up to rank 7. In my mind, ranking them up that high is a mistake. He would have been much better off grabbing another unit of Aspiring Champions. I think they come in at 550, so it would have been a lot better to invest his money into that. In my mind anyway, I don't think ranking units is that great in multiplayer unless you're just trying to get rid of the last of your money. Like the same thing that I've done basically with the Skeleton Warriors. They're just up to rank number 1 just because I'm trying to get rid of the last of my money and trying to really maximize my input into the unit, into the army itself. So, right, let's begin. Now this was an interesting matchup because I did make quite a few mistakes, but I did make a couple of decently good plays in it as well, which I thought was really, really good. He's actually pushing forward with his Dragon Ogres up to here. Later on, in re-looking at this replay, I was kind of thinking, you know, he's actually just baiting me in. I didn't think that at the time, of course, but during the actual, battle, I didn't think he was trying to bait me in, but I mean, he kind of does, right? He kind of does bait me in. Now, my mindset is I don't want these guys crashing into these units up here, because they will absolutely wreck face with those up there. So what I've done, and you'll start to see it in a second, is actually pull my Blood Knights forward, the Blood Knights and the Exalted Heroes forward, to come up here and take this here out. So I've got my 2 units coming up here. He's actually pulled over his Chaos Knights with Lancers as well. Now this is a fairly even matchup with the Blood Knights and the 2 Exalted Heroes. They will actually win this matchup most of the time. Most of the time. Those 4 units there will actually take out these 2 units here. It wasn't until we get a bit further in, where I probably should have pulled back. I didn't, but I probably should have. Where he's actually committing a lot of extra forces. We'll see it very, very shortly. Yeah, again, these 4 units will defeat these 9 times out of 10, let's say that, 9 times out of 10. But now he's actually started to pull over another unit of Chaos Warriors. He's pulled over one of his units of Forsaken. He's also pulled over his Exalted Hero, and he's also pulling over Prince Sigvald over here as well. So he's investing a lot into hold this flank. Now it's kind of at this time where I'm thinking, oh crap, I need to actually do something, because he's only got a tiny wee force here, right? Compared to what I've got left, which is basically my whole army, I have actually pulled, well, I will at some stage pull over my Graveguard and a unit of Skeletons just to come up here and try and help these guys out as much as possible. But I've kind of resigned myself to the fact that these guys are basically lost, right? There's not a lot I can do there. So if I don't do something over here, I'm going to get absolutely destroyed in this matchup. So it was at this point that I was thinking, damn, I've lost. Like, I've actually lost, you know, straight away. It's like, oh my god, there's nothing I can do there to help. I did try and chuck a heal down, I believe. Yeah, I did. I did chuck down a Evocation of Nahek onto one of the Blood Knights, but it's not going to be enough to hold these up. This is a lot of damage coming in, especially from these Dragon Ogres, which is why I wanted to get rid of them at the very start anyway. Now we'll see over here, his ranked up Forsaken are going to absolutely chew through these Skeleton Warriors, but they kind of would have anyway, even if they weren't ranked up. They'll absolutely decimate a Skeleton Warrior unit, those Forsaken. Now, here we have an interesting matchup as well. The Graveguard with great weapons going against the Chaos Warriors with great weapons. It's a fairly even matchup. Again, 9 times out of 10, the Graveguard with great weapons will actually come out in the lead on that one, irrespective of like buffs or stuff that's going on in the background. I shouldn't say irrespective, that's the wrong word. In a 1v1 situation without outside buffs and stuff, the unit of Graveguard with the great weapons should actually win this encounter here. Now going on here, my Crypt Horror again should actually be able to defeat a unit of Chaos Warriors with great weapons, but he does have the buffs coming on from the Aspiring Champions, which is actually helping him out quite tremendously actually in that engagement. Now I'm actually, well, I thought I was. Yeah, I am actually focusing on the Aspiring Champions, trying to get rid of them first and get rid of the buff that they actually provide for the rest of these units. So trying to kill them off as fast as we can. Warriors with great weapons, absolutely chewing through the Skeleton Warriors, but that's what they're there for. They're just there for the meat shield. As you can see, he's actually left my Crypt Horrors alone, which is great for me. And Vlad's in there offering a bit of extra damage support as well. Now, in my mind, I've lost this, right? I've lost all this stuff on this side, so I'm actually trying to pull out my 2 White Kings, try and save them, which I do actually manage to do. I was going to pull out the Graveguard as well, but realising my Blood Knights have been absolutely destroyed, I need to stop this from running over here and getting onto the back of this, because if this section of his army rejoins this section of his army, there's nothing I can do, right? He's going to absolutely roll over the top of me. Now have a look at the life on these guys. Watch how fast that goes down now. Right, yeah, so I've got my 2 White Kings out, which is great. I know I need to keep those guys out and keep them alive as long as possible. Yeah, go back to these Crypt Horrors, would you? Watch how low these guys actually get. Unfortunately, I do lose this unit of Graveguard with great weapons to this unit of Forsaken, but yeah, keep an eye on this boy. Right, before we do that, can I just pause there? So what he's done is he's actually ignoring... Well, sorry, he's actually killed off the unit of Graveguard that were over the side with the great weapons. Now, what I'm doing is just casting zombies just to tie all this up. So, like, as I said, if this section of his army gets over here, I've lost, right? Because this will crush everything that I've got over here. As long as he's got support from this side as well, that'll absolutely roll over the top of that. So what I'm doing is casting as many units of zombies over here to tie all this up. The zombies aren't going to kill anything, but they will be able to tie that up for us and hopefully keep them alive. Right, go back to these Crypt Horrors slow. Now remember, Crypt Horrors have natural regeneration as well. So that is kind of keeping them in the battle a wee bit. It did actually bring his Exalted Champion down to try and take on Vlad 1v1. Vlad will win that encounter most of the time as well. Watch these Crypt Horrors. They're dying, they're dying. I think it's about this stage that I've gone, oh my god, my Crypt Horrors are about dead. Where is it? There. Come on, come on. Down to 200 health. Below 200 health, and then bam! Invocation of Nahek kicks in. Beautiful timing on that, and it's going to get these guys as well, these Skeleton Warriors. That's not important. It's actually going to buff up my 2 White Kings at the same time, or regenerate them. So you see, he jumps up to a back somewhere around about 1,000 health, along with the healing and his natural regen as well. So you see here, I've actually spawned, and I believe it was 3 units. Here's the 4th unit of zombies. Just trying to tie up this as much as I can, because I need this section of my army to get back over here and support. As you can see, I'm actually routing a lot of the stuff that was on this side now. The extra heal that I got onto these unit of Crypt Horrors is so important. As you can see, back up to 1,200 life. Really, really helpful. And Vlad, although he's been tanking a lot of that damage... Where is he? Where's Vlad? In there. He's taken very, 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 very little damage. As you can see, only down about 1,000 life, even though he was tanking a lot of this. But that's got a lot to do with the zombies that I summoned in, just to tie up this, to give these guys a lot of extra targets. Now, in my mind now, I'm thinking I've got to get rid of these Dragon Ogres, right? That's where a lot of his damage is going to be coming from, these Dragon Ogres. I probably should have focused on these Forsaken as well, although I think these were probably the best target to go for. Now, as you can see, he's pulled back his other units that have returned to the battle, and I've just set my zombies over there just to stop them again, just to tie them up so they can't get onto this force, because I need these guys to survive as long as possible. This is the end of the Crypt Horrors again. I believe he actually goes down here. Don't think I've got much magic left from memory up into this stage, but they're still doing a lot of damage. You see these Shagoths are finally, Dragon Ogres are finally going to break, even though we've been kind of trying to attack them for the whole match. Right, zombies holding. Zombies actually managed to break these 2 units, and the zombies are going to break this unit as well. I've got 2 units of zombies over now, just holding back these 2 forces of his. Yeah, did I focus in on these Forsaken? I believe I started to focus in now. I've still got my unit of crit heroes coming in at full health. Now you see the balance of power is actually massively in my favour. That's not because of, I mean it is because of my army strength, but a lot of that army strength is actually in zombies at this stage. So that's why you actually see it jumps up quite a bit every time I cast a new zombie lord, or a new zombie pack, sorry. It actually jumps up quite a bit. So yeah, now I've noticed that I really need to take care of these Forsaken, because that's where a lot of his damage is coming from. Not so worried about Prince Sigurd, although he does do quite a bit of damage. He's actually very hard to bring down, so trying to kill him off at this stage is kind of irrelevant. We don't really need to worry about that. Get rid of these Forsaken, which is where all his damage is coming from, or the last of his damage is coming from. Get rid of them, and the rest of the stuff should rout relatively quickly. It's down to 1,000 life. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? There. Look at the kill numbers on those guys, man. 157, but remember a lot of that is zombies, because they were the unit of Forsaken that were tied up over this side, and I was casting zombies into just to tie them up. But that's good for me. Even though the numbers are really, really high, 157, most of that is actually zombie kills, which again is great for me. His stuff's managing to rout off now. Now we're going to turn our attention onto Prince Sigurd. It's not much longer. Well, he's not much longer for this world. Jeez, that's a terrible way of saying it. Right, pulling those zombies back in. The zombies have done their work, right? They even managed to pick up a few kills. That's not obviously their purpose. Their purpose was just to tie up as much of the enemy force as I possibly could. So I thought this match was just a really good example of using the summon skeleton or summon zombies in to tie up a large chunk of the enemy force to keep them out of the battle, which gave me, although we did lose my left-hand flank quite badly, let's be honest, quite badly, I did manage to tie them up well enough that they couldn't actually get onto my main forces, which were still in the centre, and we did manage to win the centre I'm going to say just, and then we were able to push back over once I actually got a few heals back into these guys. So you see a lot of these kill numbers are really, really high, which is really good. But remember, a lot of that is skeletons, and a lot of that is the zombies that I summoned in during the actual match as well. So that's where a lot of those kills actually came from. Anyway, guys, that is today's multiplayer video. Is it? No, I don't. This might be a second one. I actually wanted to just get this video out just to show you guys. I just thought it was a really interesting match. And I guess it was a match where I turned around a defeat where I stuffed up completely, and let's be honest, I stuffed up completely at the start. He baited me in perfectly. With these two. I knew that I could take him with these two units and these two units. I knew I could take those, but then he committed a lot more troops. A unit of those, and his two lords. He committed those in, and that just absolutely turned the tide of the battle on the left-hand flank. If I didn't have those zombie summons in to hold the rest of those units back, I would have lost. So he did play pretty well as well. That baiting in was absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I just thought it was a really good matchup where I basically turned around a surefire loss into a narrow win. And that was all due to the fact of being able to summon a lot of zombies just to tie up his really valuable units with basically fodder. And I was able to get my more powerful units back into the battle and actually help out. Anyway, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.